Ms. Hyde, there's a lot of talk today about the March 31st meeting, but you were there, correct?
Yes, I was.
And you would recognize the transcript if I handed it to you.
Yes, I was.
Permission to take it from the bench and hand it to the witness. Sure.
Thank you.
So you're holding the transcript. During this meeting, on line 55, you'll find that Avery Bancroft was the one who first mentioned Chase Covington as the swing vote, correct?
Yes, she did.
And during this meeting, Bancroft was able to make Chase Covington, it was Avery Bancroft who first mentioned that she would be willing to make Chase Covington happy.
Yes, if the chairperson is the swing vote, obviously you want to appeal to them and see how you can make your casino better.
But on line 57 to 58, you'll find it was Avery Bancroft who first mentioned this, correct?
Yes, Keenan says you will definitely need to make Chase happy.
No, Avery Bancroft says this.
On line 57?
57 to 58.
Yes, on line 57, Keenan says, of course, you will definitely need to make Chase happy. And Ms. Bancroft says, okay, I can do that.
Of course. Moving on. And it was Avery Bancroft who asked for another meeting to be set up.
Yes.
And it was Avery Bancroft who thanked Mickey Keenan for, quote, greasing the wheels.
Yes, she wanted to move things along.
Okay. Let's move on to the April 12th meeting. Permission to take the transcript from the witness and tender it? Thank you. So, on April 12th, you were present at the meeting with Danny Hoy and Ms. Bancroft.
Yes, I was.
And during this meeting, Mickey Keenan was not there.
No, he was. She was not.
And during this meeting, Danny Hoy made a list of suggestions to Avery Bancroft.
Yes.
And Ms. Bancroft rejected all of them.
She did.
Ms. Bancroft did not want mobile security cameras in the room.
No, it was a private business meeting, and she didn't want that.
Ms. Bancroft did not want cell phones in the room.
No, she didn't want people distracted. by-
Objection, speculation. To say what Ms. Bancroft did or did not want goes into the mindset of Ms. Avery Bancroft, and therefore is speculation.
Allow me to rephrase, Your Honor. Ms. Bancroft stated she did not want cell phones in the room.
Yes, she found them distracted.
And Ms. Bancroft did not even want her head of security, Danny Hoy, in the room during the security meeting. or the
Once
meeting.
again, I object to speculation, Your Honor. To the phrase, Ms. Bancroft did not want, Your Honor, once again, that is speculation.
Allow me to rephrase. Ms. Bancroft stated she did not want Danny Hoy in the room during the meeting.
That's correct.
And this was to be conducted in a private suite,
Yes.
out of the eyes of security cameras.
Yes, in a hotel room, you don't really have security cameras.
Let's move on to the actual date of the meeting on April 13th.
All right.
At the meeting, it was you, Mickey Keenan, Avery Bancroft, and Chase Covington.
Yes.
And the meeting started with mentions of the proposal.
It did.
And during this meeting, Mickey Keenan never made mention of the word bribe.
No, she only referenced the word money.
And she never insinuated about any sort of bribe.
I believe, well, she insinuated it. She didn't outright say the word bribe, no.
And during this meeting, you got up to go to the bathroom.
Yes, I did.
And when you came back, room service had arrived.
Yes, it did.
And when room service had arrived, Mickey Keenan was away from the table, towards the door,
Yes, I believe he was greeting our bellhop.
talking to the bellhop.
Yes.
And while this was happening, Avery Bancroft and Chase Covington sat at the table,
Yes, but I don't believe they were sleeping.
but they were together at the table,
Yes.
far from the door.
It was a relatively small room. I wouldn't say it was far from the door.
But while Keenan was engaged in conversation, it was Chase Covington who picked up her briefcase.
Yes, Chase Covington picked up his briefcase.
And Avery Bancroft looked at her,
Looked at him, yes.
looked at him, excuse me. And it was Avery Bancroft who made mention and said, "Do you want a new one of those?"
Yes, I believe that's right.
To which the two exchanged glances, and it appeared as if Bancroft nodded.
Yes, I believe that's what happened.
And just to clarify for the jury, while this exchange of nods was happening, Keenan was still far from the table, talking to the bellhop by the door.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on and talk about the briefcases. The briefcase that you saw appeared later, is that true?
I'm sorry, could you clarify?
3 days after the meeting on April 16th, you saw a briefcase in Avery Bancroft's office identical to the one that Chase Covington held up at the meeting.
Nearly identically, yes.
And it appeared as if Avery Bancroft purchased this briefcase.
Yes.
So Avery Bancroft purchased this briefcase for himself, and it was identical to the one that Chase Covington asked she could have a new, that Avery Bancroft asked her if she wanted a new one,
Could you restate that?
of course. The briefcase that Chase Covington held up at the meeting,
Yes,
you found an identical one in Avery Bancroft's office.
nearly identical.
And before the meeting on April 16th, you saw your boss put $200,000 into that briefcase.
Objection to relevance, Your Honor. It's already been stipulated to that Ms. Avery Bancroft made a bribe, so going into the details of this bribe is irrelevant.
If I may proffer, I was, Corey Hyde will attest to the fact that it was not Mickey Keenan who was performing this act, but it was Avery Bancroft in her own room performing the act by herself when she walked in.
Overrule the objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we ask, you saw your boss, Avery Bancroft, placing $200,000 into the briefcase that you said she purchased.
Approximately, yes.
The briefcase identical to the one in the meeting that Chase Covington held up.
Yes.
It was not Mickey Keenan putting this money in the briefcase.
No, it was not.
Mickey Keenan wasn't even in the room when this was happening.
No, I did not see Mickey.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you redraw?